Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. If you want to achieve success, unlock your true potential, and build the life you've always dreamed of, there's one thing you need to master above all else: discipline. It's the foundation of everything. Without discipline, all the talent, all the ideas, and all the motivation in the world won't get you far. Discipline is what takes you from wishing and hoping to actually making it happen. In this video, we're diving deep into why discipline isn't just an optional part of success. It's the absolute necessity. This is the truth that the most successful people understand. It's the reason they keep going when everyone else gives up. The reason they achieve what others can only dream of. And it's available to you too. You're about to discover how discipline shapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your future. We'll talk about why discipline is the only real shortcut to success, how it forces you to make choices that your future self will thank you for, and why successful people do the hard things until they become easy. This isn't just about doing what you have to do. It's about doing it consistently, day after day, until your goals are no longer distant dreams, but reality. If you're ready to take control of your future, to stop making excuses, and start taking massive action, stick with me through this video. What you're about to hear could change everything. Number 1. Discipline is the only shortcut to success. Discipline is the only shortcut to success. That's the truth. There is no easy way, no magic trick, no overnight transformation. People waste years looking for the fastest way to get rich, the secret formula to losing weight, the hidden trick to mastering a skill. But the answer has always been right in front of them. The ones who succeed are the ones who show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. They don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They just do the work. If you look at the most successful people in any field, business, sports, entertainment, education, you will find one thing in common: they are disciplined. They have trained themselves to stick to a plan, to follow through, to stay consistent. And because of that, they are ahead of the rest. While others are making excuses, they are making progress. While others are getting distracted, they are staying focused. While others are quitting, they are pushing forward. That's the difference. That's why they win. Most people will never get what they want in life because they refuse to develop discipline. They start something, but they don't finish. They work hard for a few days, then take a break. They promise themselves they'll do better tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, they find a reason to put it off again. And this pattern repeats over and over, year after year, until one day they look back and wonder why nothing has changed. They had the dream, but they didn't have the discipline, and that's why they stayed stuck. The truth is, success is simple. Not easy, but simple. If you do the right things every day, if you put in the effort consistently, if you stay disciplined, success is guaranteed. The problem is, people don't want to hear that. They want to believe there's an easier way. They want to believe that they can get the results without putting in the effort. That's why they keep falling for shortcuts that don't work. That's why they keep looking for motivation, when what they really need is discipline. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling inspired, ready to take on the world. Other days you feel tired, unmotivated, and distracted. And if you rely on motivation alone, those bad days will destroy your progress. That's why discipline is everything. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's going to the gym when you'd rather stay home. It's working on your goals when everyone else is relaxing. And here's the reality. If you're waiting for motivation to show up before you take action, you will never achieve anything great. The people who succeed in life don't feel motivated every day. They just know that if they don't put in the work, they will stay exactly where they are, and they refuse to let that happen. They understand that the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Just look around. Everywhere you go, you'll find people who gave up on their dreams. People who had potential but never followed through. People who started strong but quit when things got tough. And the worst part, they regret it. They wish they had stayed disciplined. They wish they had put in more effort. But now it's too late. They can't go back in time. They can't change the choices they made. And so they live with the pain of knowing they could have been more, done more, achieved more. Don't let that be your story. Don't let your future self look back and wish you had been more disciplined. Start now. Decide today that you will commit to your goals no matter what. No more excuses. No more waiting. No more stopping and starting. If you really want to change your life, discipline is the only way. People often say they don't have time, but that's not true. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how they use them. Some people wake up early and work on their goals before the world even starts moving. Others waste hours scrolling on their phones, watching TV, or doing things that add nothing to their future. It's not about time, it's about priorities. Discipline is what makes the difference between those who achieve success and those who just dream about it. It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's consistency. It's showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, discouraged, or frustrated. Because in the end, success doesn't come to the smartest, the luckiest, or the most talented. It comes to those who are disciplined enough to do the work every single day. So the choice is yours. You can keep waiting for motivation, keep searching for shortcuts, keep making excuses, or you can make the decision right now to become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter what, because discipline is the only shortcut to success. And if you master it, nothing can stop you. Number 2, the strength to stay disciplined determines the height of your success. Success is not just about how hard you work for a day, a week, or even a month. It's about how long you can keep going when most people quit. The strength to stay disciplined is what separates those who reach the top from those who stay stuck in the middle. Anyone can start strong. Anyone can have a good day, a good week, maybe even a good month. But very few have the strength to stay consistent long enough to see real success. That's what it takes. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about how long you can stay committed, how long you can keep pushing, even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't see results yet, even when it seems like nothing is working. Because if you quit too soon, you'll never know how close you were to winning. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that discipline is something you use once in a while, something you turn on and off. That's not how it works. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes. That's why so many people start a goal with excitement and energy. But after a few weeks, they slow down. They stop showing up. They start making excuses. And before they know it, they're back where they started, wondering why nothing in their life ever changes. It's not because they didn't try. It's because they didn't stay disciplined long enough. They had the strength to start, but they didn't have the strength to keep going. Look at anyone who has achieved something great, and you'll see one thing: they didn't stop when it got hard. They didn't stop when they felt tired. They didn't stop when they didn't feel motivated. They kept going. When others rested, they worked. When others made excuses, they showed up. That's why they succeeded. That's why they reached a level most people never will. Not because they were smarter, not because they were luckier, but because they had the discipline to stay consistent, to keep moving forward, to refuse to quit. Think about the people who start working out at the beginning of the year. The gyms are packed in January. Everyone is excited. Everyone is motivated. But give it a month or two, and most of them are gone. Why? Because they thought motivation was enough. They thought excitement was enough. But the ones who are still in the gym 6 months later, a year later, those are the ones who understand discipline. They understand that the results don't come after a few workouts. They come after months, even years, of consistency. The same is true for every area of life. If you start a business, if you start learning a skill, if you start working on yourself, it doesn't matter what it is. The process is the same. Success isn't about how good you are at the beginning. It's about how long you can keep going, even when progress is slow, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Most people fail because they quit too soon. They tell themselves they've tried everything, but in reality, they only gave it a few weeks, maybe a few months. They don't realize that real success takes time. It takes patience. It takes a level of discipline most people aren't willing to develop. But the truth is, if you want to win, you don't have a choice. If you want to change your life, you can't afford to stop halfway. You can't afford to let distractions pull you away. You can't afford to give up just because things aren't happening as fast as you want them to. The reason so many people struggle is that they are controlled by their emotions. They only work hard when they feel like it. They only stay disciplined when it's easy. But emotions change. Some days you feel great, some days you don't. Some days you feel motivated, some days you don't. If your actions are controlled by your emotions, you will never be consistent enough to succeed. The strongest people, the ones who truly make it, they don't let emotions decide their actions. They do what needs to be done, no matter how they feel. That's the difference. That's what separates them from the rest. The truth is, discipline is a test. Life is going to test you. It's going to see how bad you really want it. Because if success was easy, everyone would have it. But life doesn't give success to everyone. It gives it to those who prove they deserve it. It gives it to those who have the strength to keep going. Even when the process is slow, even when no one is watching, even when no one is clapping for them. That's what it takes. And here's something most people don't realize. Once you prove that you can stay disciplined, everything gets easier. When you train yourself to stick to a habit, to follow through, to do what needs to be done day after day, it stops feeling like a struggle. It becomes a part of who you are. The first few weeks might be hard, but once you build the habit, it gets easier. And once it gets easier, you gain momentum. And momentum is powerful. Once you start winning, it becomes easier to keep winning. Once you start succeeding, it becomes easier to keep succeeding. That's why discipline is everything. It's not just about working hard today. It's about having the strength to keep working hard, to keep showing up, to keep doing what needs to be done for as long as it takes. Because the truth is, success isn't just about how good you are. It's about how long you can stay disciplined. The higher your level of discipline, the higher your level of success. If you can master this one thing, nothing can stop you. Number 3. Discipline creates freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you feel like it. But that's not freedom. That's a trap. That's how people end up broke, unhealthy, and stuck in a life they don't like. Real freedom, the kind that lasts, only comes from discipline. The ability to control yourself, to do what needs to be done, even when it's hard, even when no one is forcing you. That's what gives you real choices in life. That's what separates the people who succeed from the ones who struggle forever. The problem is, most people don't want to hear that. They want to believe success is about luck, about talent, about being in the right place at the right time. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the people who seem to have the most freedom, the ones who get to travel, who get to live life on their terms, who don't have to worry about bills or stress, those people got there through discipline. The people who wake up every day with no control over their time, no control over their money, stuck in jobs they hate, stuck in situations they don't like, those people are not free. They think they are because they get to choose what TV show to watch or what food to order. But that's not freedom. That's distraction. Discipline is what gives you options. When you're disciplined with your money, you're not stuck living paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to stay in a job you hate just to survive. You don't have to worry every time an unexpected expense comes up. You have the freedom to make choices that others can't. When you're disciplined with your health, you're not controlled by bad habits. You don't have to suffer from low energy, from constant fatigue, from the pain that comes from years of neglecting yourself. You have the freedom to wake up feeling strong, to move the way you want, to live without limitations. When you're disciplined with your time, you don't waste years of your life doing things that don't matter. You don't spend your days scrolling, watching, waiting while time slips away. You have the freedom to build something, to create a life that excites you, to become the person you know you're capable of being. That's why discipline is so powerful. It's not about punishment. It's not about restriction. It's about giving yourself the ability to live life on your terms. Most people don't understand that. They see discipline as something that takes away their freedom, something that makes life harder. But the truth is, a lack of discipline is what makes life hard. If you can't control your spending, you'll always be stressed about money. If you can't control your habits, you'll always feel stuck in the same place. If you can't control your time, you'll always feel like life is slipping away from you. Look at the people who seem to have it all together. The ones who are successful, who are healthy, who are truly happy. you'll notice something. They are disciplined. They wake up early. They stick to their routines. They do the hard work even when no one is watching. They don't waste time. They don't waste energy. They don't let distractions control them. That's why they have freedom. Not because they got lucky. Not because they were born with some special advantage, but because they made a decision to take control of their lives. And here's the part most people don't realize. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's not a personality trait. It's a skill, something you build, something you strengthen over time. At first it's hard. Of course it is. Your mind will resist it. You'll want to go back to what's comfortable. You'll want to take the easy way out. But if you push through that, if you stay consistent, something changes. The things that used to feel difficult become normal. The things that used to take effort become effortless. And once you reach that level, discipline isn't something you have to force anymore. It becomes a part of you. The truth is, most people will never get there. They'll try for a little while. Then they'll go back to old habits. They'll make excuses. They'll tell themselves it's too hard. And they'll stay stuck. They'll watch other people succeed and tell themselves it's unfair, that life is against them. But the ones who decide that they are in control, the ones who decide to stay disciplined, no matter what, those are the ones who win. Those are the ones who get to live life on their terms. The question is, which one are you going to be? Are you going to be like most people, controlled by distractions, by emotions, by bad habits? Or are you going to be the person who takes control, who decides what their life is going to be? Because at the end of the day, no one is going to do it for you. No one is going to wake up early for you. No one is going to stay disciplined for you. It's on you. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you take control, the sooner you start living with real freedom. Number 4. Your daily habits shape your future more than your dreams do. Everyone wants a better future. Everyone dreams of success, of freedom, of living life on their terms. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Dreams don't change your life. Your daily habits do. It's not what you hope for. It's not what you wish would happen. It's what you do every single day that shapes your future. Most people think success is some big event, some major breakthrough that happens all at once, but it's not. Success is built in the small, quiet moments when no one is watching. It's built in the way you spend your mornings, in the way you use your time, in the choices you make when it would be easier to do nothing. The problem is, most people are waiting for motivation. They're waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting for everything to feel right before they start. But that's why they stay stuck. Because success isn't about feeling ready. It's about discipline. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about making the hard choices today so that your future is better tomorrow. Look at your life right now. Look at the results you have. They didn't just happen overnight. They came from your habits, the way you think, the way you act, the things you do repeatedly. Those are the things that create your reality. If you're not where you want to be, it's not because you're unlucky. It's not because life is unfair. It's because of the small decisions you've been making every single day. The ones that seemed unimportant at the time. The times you hit the snooze button instead of getting up early. The times you scrolled on your phone instead of working on your goals. The times you said, "I'll do it later," instead of doing it now. And that's the part most people miss. They think small choices don't matter. They think skipping the gym once, wasting 1 hour, spending money on something unnecessary, it's no big deal. But what they don't realize is that those small choices add up. Over time, they turn into habits, and your habits create your future. That's why the most successful people in the world don't just set big goals. They don't just dream about the life they want. They build the habits that make that life inevitable. They wake up early. They take care of their bodies. They invest in their minds. They do the work even when they don't feel like it. They don't rely on motivation because they know motivation comes and goes. They rely on discipline. And because of that, success isn't a matter of luck for them. It's a matter of time. Most people never get there because they can't break free from their old habits. They say they want success, but they still live like the old version of themselves. They still do the things that keep them stuck. They still think they have time to waste. But here's the truth. Every day you keep your old habits. You're choosing to stay the same. Every day you wait. Every day you procrastinate. Every day you tell yourself tomorrow. You're pushing your success further away. That's why real change starts with what you do today. Not next week. Not next year. Today. The question isn't, what do you want? The question is, what are you willing to do every single day to get there? Because if your habits don't match your goals will never happen. You can't wish your way into success. You can't dream your way into a better future. You have to build the habits that create it. Think about the person you want to become. The version of you that has the success you want, the health you want, the freedom you want. How does that person live? What do they do every morning? How do they spend their time? What choices do they make? Now ask yourself, are your current habits leading you there? Or are they keeping you stuck? Because at the end of the day, your future is being created right now. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Right now. The life you're going to have 5 years from now will be the result of the habits you build today. If you keep living the same way, you'll keep getting the same results. But if you change your habits, if you start making better choices, if you commit to discipline, everything changes. This is the part where most people give up. They say it's too hard. They say they don't have time. They say they'll start later. But that's why most people never get what they want. They let excuses win. They let bad habits control them. But the ones who succeed, they don't wait. They don't make excuses. They start. They take control. They decide that their dreams are worth more than their comfort. And because of that, they win. The question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep wishing for success while living with the same habits that are holding you back? Or are you going to take control? Because at the end of the day, no one is going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. It's up to you. And the sooner you take action, the sooner you change your habits, the sooner you start living the life you actually want. Number 5. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Discipline is the cure. Progress doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It doesn't happen when you choose the easy path, the path that requires no effort, the one that feels safe and predictable. If you want to grow, if you want to accomplish something meaningful, if you want to live a life that truly matters, then you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The truth is, comfort is the enemy of progress. It's the thing that keeps you stuck, keeps you from reaching your potential, and keeps you from the success you deserve. We live in a world that tells us comfort is the goal. We're constantly told to relax, to take it easy, to enjoy life and seek pleasure. But what people don't realize is that the very thing we often crave, the easy life, the relaxation, the pleasure, are the things that prevent us from achieving greatness. When we choose comfort over discipline, when we let ourselves be led by how we feel in the moment, we sabotage our future. And the problem with this is that comfort feels so good in the moment that we don't see the cost it's having on our progress. Think about the times you've chosen the easy option. Maybe it was skipping the gym when you knew you should have gone. Maybe it was choosing to relax in front of the TV instead of working on your side hustle. Maybe it was hitting snooze on the alarm instead of waking up early to start your day right. In those moments, comfort feels like the right choice. It feels like what you want. It's easy, it's convenient. But what you don't realize is that in those moments, you're trading your future for the short-term pleasure of comfort. You're making a choice that feels good right now, but is preventing you from getting the results you want in the long run. The reality is, success doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's hard. It comes from making the tough decisions, the ones that require discipline and sacrifice. It comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and into the unknown. And the problem is, most people aren't willing to make that choice. Most people aren't willing to do what it takes to achieve their goals because they'd rather stay comfortable. They'd rather avoid the discomfort of discipline, even if it means staying stuck in mediocrity. But that's where you have the opportunity to separate yourself from the crowd. If you can learn to embrace discomfort, if you can learn to stay disciplined, you will set yourself apart. Discipline is the cure to the comfort trap. It's what will take you from where you are right now to where you want to be. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the strength to stay focused on your goals and stay consistent, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when everything in you wants to give up. And here's the thing, discipline doesn't just help you get through the hard times. It's what builds the future you want. The more disciplined you become, the easier it gets. Over time, what once felt hard becomes second nature. What once felt like a struggle becomes a habit. When you choose discipline over comfort, you're choosing growth. You're choosing to put in the work that others won't do. You're choosing to build the habits that will shape your success. And over time, those small acts of discipline add up to massive results. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing what needs to be done consistently, day after day, even when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's discipline. Now, it's important to understand that discipline isn't always easy. It's not about being perfect. It's not about forcing yourself to do things that are painful or miserable. Discipline is about understanding that the hard work today leads to the rewards of tomorrow. It's about making choices that align with your long-term goals, not your short-term desires. It's about resisting the urge to give in to comfort, knowing that every time you do, you're pushing your success further away. Think about the people who have achieved the kind of success you want. Are they people who take the easy route? No. They're the ones who put in the work. They're the ones who showed up even when they didn't feel like it. They're the ones who sacrificed comfort for the sake of their dreams. And that's why they're where they are today. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is discipline. It's the ability to resist the temptation of comfort and do what needs to be done, even when it's hard. The truth is, comfort won't get you to the next level. It won't get you the body you want, the career you want, the life you want. If you want to live a life that's extraordinary, if you want to achieve things most people will never achieve, you have to be willing to do what most people won't do. And that means stepping outside your comfort zone. It means facing the discomfort of doing what's hard. It means choosing discipline over ease, every single time. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The more you practice discipline, the more natural it becomes. And the more disciplined you are, the more you'll start to see the results. It's like a snowball effect. The more disciplined you are, the more you accomplish, the more motivated you become, and the more you'll want to keep going. Discipline creates momentum. And once you build momentum, nothing can stop you. So the next time you find yourself tempted to choose comfort, ask yourself this: is this choice moving me closer to my goals, or is it holding me back? Because the reality is, you can either choose comfort now and stay where you are, or you can choose discipline, push through the discomfort, and build the life you truly want. The choice is yours. And every time you make the disciplined choice, you're one step closer to the life you deserve. Number 6. If you break your own rules, you can't expect results. When you set a goal, when you commit to something, you're making a promise to yourself. And when you break that promise, you're not just giving up on the goal. You're breaking the trust you've built with yourself. Trust is the foundation of everything. Without it, nothing works. And if you consistently break your own rules, the results you want will never come. That's not how success works. We all know the feeling of setting a goal, something we're excited about, something we really want to achieve, and we start strong. The enthusiasm is there. The energy is there. The motivation is running high. We make a plan, we commit to it. And then somewhere along the way, we start to fall off track. We miss one day. We break one promise. We tell ourselves, it's fine, I'll get back on it tomorrow. But then tomorrow comes, and we find another excuse, and then another. And before we know it, we've completely broken the chain of commitment. And here's the truth. When you start breaking your own rules, you lose momentum. The very act of breaking your promises to yourself chips away at your confidence. It makes it harder to take yourself seriously. The next time you set a goal, you can't expect to see results if you're constantly abandoning your commitments. Results are built on consistency. They're built on the foundation of trust. And if you break your promises to yourself, you're slowly but surely undermining that foundation. Think about it. You've probably set a goal for yourself, whether it's about your career, your health, your finances, or your relationships. At the beginning, it feels like you've got it all figured out. But over time, when you start to get distracted or lazy, those little broken rules accumulate. Missing a workout, skipping a task, saying I'll do it tomorrow. And each time you do that, you're telling yourself that your rules don't matter. You're telling yourself that your word doesn't matter. And if your word doesn't matter to you, why should it matter to anyone else? The people who get the results are the ones who stick to their commitments, even when it's tough, even when they don't feel like it. They don't let one slip up turn into a free pass to give up. They don't let one missed day turn into a week of missed opportunities. They stay disciplined because they understand something crucial. The results don't come from the big dramatic moments. They come from the everyday decisions you make, the small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success will come quickly, that one big decision will make everything fall into place. But it's not that simple. The truth is, it's the little choices, the ones that you make every single day, that build up to create the life you want. The moment you break your own rules, even just once, you're sending yourself a message that your rules aren't really that important. And the longer you do that, the less likely you are to get results. Why? Because success requires a foundation of discipline. It requires a foundation of showing up, day in and day out, regardless of how you feel. If you're constantly breaking your promises to yourself, you're never giving yourself the chance to build that foundation. The results you want won't come, not because you're not capable, but because you're not consistent enough. You can't expect to reap the rewards if you're not willing to stay committed to the process. Think about the people you admire. Think about the successful people in your life, or the ones you look up to from afar. What do they all have in common? They don't break their own rules. They don't quit when it gets tough. They don't give themselves excuses. They commit to the process, and they stay with it, even when things aren't going perfectly. They build momentum, because they know that one step forward is always better than standing still. When you break your rules, you're not just giving yourself an excuse to quit. You're telling yourself that your goals don't matter. You're showing yourself that discipline doesn't count. And when that happens, you'll never get the results you're looking for. Discipline isn't just about sticking to your schedule. It's about honoring the commitments you make to yourself. It's about showing yourself that your word means something, that your goals are worth the effort. Let's face it, life is going to test you. There will always be distractions. There will always be challenges. And there will always be reasons to give up. But if you want to get where you want to go, if you want to see the results that others dream of, you have to stay true to your rules. You have to keep your promises to yourself. Every single time you break a rule, you make it that much harder to achieve your goal. Every time you break your commitment, you chip away at your ability to trust yourself. And when you stop trusting yourself, the road to success becomes a lot longer. The great part is, this doesn't have to be a permanent cycle. You can choose right now to stop breaking your own rules. You can choose today to honor your commitments, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you don't have the energy, even when you're tempted to put it off. If you want to see results, it starts with building a habit of keeping your word to yourself. It starts with making small, disciplined choices every day and sticking to them, even when you don't feel like it. When you break your rules, you're giving away your power. You're giving away your control over your future. But when you stick to your commitments, when you follow through on your promises, you take that power back. You take control over your destiny. You show yourself that you are capable, that you are strong enough to do what you said you would do, no matter what, and in doing so, you build the momentum that will carry you toward the success you deserve. The key to success isn't doing something grand every once in a while. It's in the little, everyday actions. It's in staying disciplined even when it's not easy. It's in keeping your promises, not just to others but to yourself. When you honor your commitments, when you stick to your rules, you create the foundation for real success. You build trust with yourself. You create momentum, and most importantly, you give yourself a shot at the life you truly want to live. You can't expect results if you're constantly breaking the rules you've set for yourself. Stay true to your word and the results will follow. Number 7, discipline isn't a talent. It's a skill you build. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's not something that you can look at and say, well, I don't have that. It's not a talent that only a select few possess. something magical that others have, but you don't. No. Discipline is a skill that you can develop, just like any other skill. And here's the beautiful part about it. It's available to everyone. No one is excluded. It's not a matter of whether you're born with it or not. It's a matter of whether you decide to build it. Most people have this misconception that discipline is some special trait, something that only certain people can master. They think it's for the ultra-productive, for the ones who wake up at 5 a.m. and run 10 miles, who have perfect routines, and who never let anything get in their way. But the reality is, discipline is something that anyone can develop. It's not a gift, it's a practice. It's about doing the right thing over and over, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient, even when the immediate reward isn't there. That's where the magic is. It's about consistency. You don't just wake up one day and become disciplined. You don't just flip a switch and suddenly become the person who never gives in to temptation or distractions. No, you start where you are. You begin with small actions and build from there. And over time, as you keep showing up and doing what needs to be done, you strengthen your discipline. You teach your mind that your goals are worth the effort. That's how you develop discipline, by practicing it every single day. Think about any skill you've learned in your life. Whether it's playing an instrument, learning a sport, or even mastering a trade, you didn't just wake up and know how to do it. You practiced. You made mistakes. You stumbled along the way, but you kept going. Discipline is no different. It's a skill you develop by showing up every day and making the choice to do the things that will move you forward, even when you'd rather not. It's about creating habits that push you in the right direction, habits that align with your goals and your values. The problem is, most people want instant results. They want to be disciplined now. They think they should have it all figured out from the start. But that's not how it works. Discipline is a long game. It's about making the decision, day in and day out, to stay on track. It's about accepting the discomfort of growth and choosing to move forward anyway. The longer you stick with it, the easier it becomes. But if you give up too soon, if you quit the moment it gets tough, you're never going to build the skill of discipline. Think about the habits you already have. They didn't just form overnight, did they? Some of them might have started off small. Maybe you used to grab a donut in the morning, but now you've developed the habit of having a healthy breakfast instead. That's a small but powerful change that you made through consistency. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up and making progress. It's about choosing the right actions repeatedly until they become second nature. And just like any skill, the more you practice, the more effortless it becomes. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with discipline is that they think it's something they can't control. They believe that their willpower has a limit, that there's only so much they can push themselves before they burn out. But that's not true. Discipline isn't about pushing yourself to the edge all the time. It's about building sustainable habits that align with your long-term vision. It's about making decisions that move you closer to your goals, even when it's uncomfortable. And when you make those decisions over and over, you're developing a skill that will carry you through any challenge. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do everything right. What matters is that you keep showing up, even when it's hard. When you slip up, it's not the end of the world. It's just part of the process. When you miss a workout, when you fall off track for a day, that doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. But what sets disciplined people apart is that they don't let one mistake derail them. They get back up. They keep going. They don't use a small setback as an excuse to give up. They understand that discipline is a skill, and just like any other skill, it takes time to master. The more you practice discipline, the more it becomes ingrained in your life. It stops being something you force yourself to do, and starts being something you do without thinking. It's like brushing your teeth. You don't have to think about it anymore. You just do it because it's part of your routine. The same can happen with your goals. The more disciplined you become, the more natural it feels to stay on track, to do the work, to make the right choices. And here's the best part. As you build your discipline, you start to see the results. They might not come immediately, but over time you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. You'll see the growth, the progress, the transformation, and that's the reward. That's the power of discipline. It's not just about the actions you take in the moment. It's about the person you become in the process. Every small disciplined decision you make adds up. it compounds. And over time, you start to see the kind of results that most people only dream of. The beauty of discipline is that it's in your control. It's not dependent on talent or luck. It's not something that only a few people are born with. It's something you can develop. It's something you can build. Day by day, decision by decision. It's not easy, but it's simple. The more you practice discipline, the more you strengthen your ability to achieve your goals. And the best part, no one can take that away from you. Once you develop the skill of discipline, it becomes an unstoppable force in your life. So if you're feeling like discipline is something you don't have, remember this: it's not a talent, it's a skill. And just like any other skill, you can build it. Start small, take one step at a time. Show up for yourself every day. And over time, you'll look back and realize that the discipline you've built is the key to the success you've always wanted. You have the power to create the life you want, and discipline is the skill that will get you there. Number 8, discipline forces you to make choices that your future self will thank you for. There's a moment in life when you have to make a decision, and that decision will determine whether you rise or fall. It's that critical moment when you choose between what feels good in the moment and what will bring you long-term fulfillment. The simple, everyday choices you make now, those seemingly small actions, are shaping your future in ways you may not even realize. You might think that skipping the gym today won't make a difference, or that choosing to watch another episode of that show is harmless. But those choices, over time, build the life you're going to live tomorrow. Discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do what you don't want to do. It's about making choices today that your future self will look back on and thank you for. It's about taking responsibility for your future and realizing that the decisions you make now echo into tomorrow. The discipline you develop, the consistency you build, the habits you form, these are the things that will either push you towards success or pull you back into mediocrity. Think about it for a second. Every choice you make is like a seed you plant for your future. When you choose to work late on that important project, you're sowing the seeds for future opportunities, career growth, and the satisfaction of knowing you gave your best. When you decide to skip the fast food and opt for something healthy, you're investing in a future where you're healthier, stronger, and more energetic. These might seem like little things in the moment, but they all add up to something much bigger. They shape your future in ways you can't fully understand right now. And let's be real for a moment, discipline isn't easy. It's tough. It's not always glamorous. It's about making hard decisions, often when you'd rather do something else. But here's the secret. The more you practice discipline, the more natural it becomes. What seems hard today will be second nature tomorrow. When you push yourself to make the right decisions today, you're creating a future where making those decisions is no longer a struggle. It becomes part of who you are. Your future self will look back and be grateful for the way you pushed through the discomfort, because you understood that the momentary pleasure of skipping that workout, procrastinating on that project, or indulging in bad habits would only set you back in the long run. What you do now might not seem like it matters in the grand scheme of things, but it does. Every small decision is building the foundation of your future. When you're disciplined, you start to see the bigger picture. You realize that the decisions you make today are like investments in your future. And let's be honest, no one ever regrets making the disciplined choice. Sure, you might regret those moments when you didn't show up, when you didn't push through, when you didn't make the hard choice. But when you stick to the plan, when you choose the harder path for the right reasons, your future self will look back and thank you for every single sacrifice. There's something powerful about knowing that the small sacrifices you make today will pay off tomorrow. It's that knowledge that keeps you going, especially when things get tough. Discipline forces you to make decisions with your future in mind. When you choose to wake up early and get to work, even when you're exhausted, you're telling yourself that your future is worth the effort. When you choose to say no to short-term pleasures and focus on long-term gains, you're telling yourself that your success matters more than the fleeting satisfaction of the moment. We live in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions. There are so many distractions, so many things that offer immediate gratification, but none of them offer lasting results. The power of discipline lies in your ability to resist those distractions. It's about sticking to what you know is right, even when it's uncomfortable. Discipline is what helps you stay focused, stay on track, and make decisions that your future self will thank you for. And here's the key. The more disciplined you are, the better you get at making those decisions. It's like building a muscle. The more you work it, the stronger it becomes. In the beginning, it might feel difficult. You might feel like you're constantly fighting against your natural urges to take the easy way out. But as you build discipline, those tough decisions start to feel more natural. It doesn't feel like a battle anymore. It becomes who you are. Your future self is depending on you to make the right choices. Think about that for a second. The life you want to live, the success, the health, the relationships, the freedom. It all depends on the choices you make today. So when you choose to push through the challenges, when you choose to do the work, even when you don't feel like it, when you choose to stay disciplined, you're building the life you want for tomorrow. You're planting the seeds for the future you dream about. It's easy to think that your future will just magically take care of itself, that if you work hard enough, success will come to you. But that's not how it works. Success isn't just about hard work, it's about smart decisions. It's about making the right choices today, so that tomorrow you can reap the rewards. And every choice you make is either helping you get closer to your goals or pulling you farther away from them. There's no middle ground. Discipline forces you to make decisions that your future self will thank you for, because it forces you to look beyond the present moment and think about the bigger picture. It forces you to think about where you want to be, who you want to be, and what kind of life you want to create. It's about understanding that every small decision today is a piece of the puzzle, and those pieces add up to something incredible. So next time you're faced with a decision, ask yourself, will this choice help me build the future I want? Will this decision help me move closer to my goals? Because the choices you make today are the building blocks of the life you'll live tomorrow. And let's be honest, there's no better feeling than looking back and knowing that the discipline you practice today is the reason why your future is everything you ever dreamed of. Number 9. Successful people do the hard things until they become easy. Success doesn't come by accident. It doesn't arrive in an instant, like a gift from the heavens. It's built piece by piece, through actions, through choices, through relentless effort. And here's the truth about successful people. They do the hard things. They take on the challenges that others shy away from. They push through the discomfort, the fear, the resistance. They don't stop when it gets tough. They don't back down when the road gets rough. In fact, they do the hard things until those hard things become easy. And that's the secret to success. The path to greatness is never smooth. If you're waiting for the easy way out, waiting for everything to magically fall into place, you're in for a rude awakening. Success isn't about finding shortcuts. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, putting in the effort, and facing the challenges head on. Successful people don't shy away from discomfort. They embrace it, knowing that it's a necessary part of growth. They don't look for the easy way. They look for the way that will push them forward, the way that will stretch their limits and help them become better, stronger, and more capable. They understand that the harder they work now, the easier it will get later. When you first start something new, whether it's a business, a fitness routine, or a new skill, it's tough, it's overwhelming. It feels like you're swimming upstream against a current that just won't give. You're tired, frustrated, maybe even doubting yourself. But here's where the difference between success and failure lies. The successful people keep going. They don't let that discomfort stop them. They don't let failure discourage them. They press forward. They keep doing the hard things, day in and day out, until those very same things that once felt impossible start to feel like second nature. Think about it for a second. The first time you try something new, it's always going to be difficult. The first time you get into a new workout routine, your body will protest. The first time you launch a business, you'll face challenges you never expected. But over time, those things that seemed impossible begin to get easier. Your muscles grow stronger. Your mind becomes sharper. The resistance starts to fade, and you begin to realize that what once felt like the hardest thing in the world is now just another part of your routine. And this doesn't just apply to physical tasks. It applies to every area of life. Successful people understand that the hard things don't stay hard forever. If you keep showing up, if you keep doing the work, if you keep making the effort, eventually those difficult tasks become effortless. The key is persistence. It's about not giving up when it gets tough. It's about sticking with it long enough for the difficult things to transform into something manageable, something familiar, something that you've mastered. It's the consistency of showing up, day after day, doing the work, no matter how difficult it seems in the moment. And here's the kicker: the more you do it, the better you get at it. Over time, your mind, your body, your spirit all adapt to the challenges, and what once felt impossible starts to feel easy. Now, don't get it twisted. The easy part doesn't come without effort. There's no magic switch that makes things simple overnight. But what happens is that the hard things don't feel as daunting anymore. They become part of the process. They become a part of who you are. You build a level of comfort with discomfort, and that's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's not about how many times you fail. It's not about how many times you stumble. It's about how many times you get back up. It's about how many times you're willing to go back to that difficult task, day after day, until it becomes something you can do with ease. Here's the mindset shift. Success is about doing the hard things over and over again, until those hard things don't feel hard anymore. Successful people aren't afraid of difficulty. They don't see obstacles as roadblocks. They see them as opportunities. They understand that every challenge is a chance to grow, a chance to get better, and a chance to become more capable. They know that when they push through the tough times, they're building the foundation for a life that's full of rewards. You have to remind yourself that success isn't about taking the easy route. It's about doing the things that challenge you. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone and continuing to move forward, even when things aren't going the way you want them to. Successful people don't stop when the going gets tough. They don't wait for the right moment. They don't wait for things to magically fall into place. They take the hard road over and over again, and through that process, they become the person capable of doing the things they once thought were impossible. And that's what makes all the difference. Think about the successful people you admire. They didn't get there by avoiding the hard work. They got there by doing the hard things until they became easy. They didn't start out as experts. They didn't start out with everything figured out. They started out just like you, facing obstacles, feeling overwhelmed, doubting themselves. But they didn't give up. They didn't let the challenges stop them. They kept going. And because of that persistence, the things that once seemed hard eventually became second nature. So what does this mean for you? It means that the next time you're faced with a challenge, the next time something feels hard, don't shy away from it. Embrace it, welcome it. Understand that it's an opportunity for growth. Understand that by doing the hard things now, you're setting yourself up for a future where those hard things are easy. Every time you show up, every time you push through, you're one step closer to making the impossible possible. And as long as you keep going, as long as you keep doing the hard things, you're moving closer to the life you want to create. Remember, success doesn't come from avoiding the hard work. It comes from doing the hard things over and over again until they become easy. And that's what separates those who achieve greatness from those who don't. So what are you waiting for? Do the hard things now. Keep doing them until they become easy. Your future self will thank you for it. Number 10. Once you master discipline, no one can stop you. There's a certain power that comes with mastering discipline. It's not something that's given to you by luck or by circumstance. Discipline is something you build over time, piece by piece, by showing up consistently and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. But once you've truly mastered it, something incredible happens. You unlock a level of control over your life that no one can take away from you. And at that moment, you become unstoppable. Think about it for a second. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful? What makes some people achieve their dreams while others struggle to even get started? It's discipline. It's the ability to stay focused, to keep going when the road gets tough, and to keep pushing forward when everyone else is ready to quit. It's the difference between giving up after the first setback and getting back up, stronger than before, ready to keep moving. When you master discipline, you're not just setting yourself up for success, you're setting yourself up for a life where nothing can stand in your way. Now, it's important to realize that discipline isn't some magical trait that only a few lucky people are born with. It's a skill. It's something that anyone can develop, no matter where they start. Sure, it might seem tough at first, especially when you're trying to build that muscle of consistency. It's hard to stay committed to something when the results don't come instantly. But once you push through that initial resistance, something amazing happens. You start to build momentum. You start to see the fruits of your labor, And the more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes. It's like building a muscle. The more you work it, the easier it gets. And once that discipline is in place, there's nothing that can stop you. Seriously, no one can take your discipline away. Life may throw curveballs at you, setbacks might come your way, and people may try to knock you down. But when you have discipline, none of that matters. You've built a mental and emotional foundation so strong that it can withstand whatever challenges life throws your way. When you have discipline, you're not easily distracted by the noise. You don't get swayed by the opinions of others. You don't get discouraged by failures. You just keep going, keep doing the work, and keep moving toward your goals. The reason why so many people fail to reach their potential is because they give up too soon. They let small obstacles stop them. They don't have the discipline to push through. But when you've mastered discipline, you understand that setbacks are just part of the journey. They're not roadblocks. They're stepping stones. They're opportunities to learn and grow. And instead of letting them derail you, you use them to fuel your fire, to sharpen your focus, and to remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Mastering discipline means that you don't need external motivation to get things done. Sure, motivation is great, but it's temporary. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is what gets you through those days when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's the thing that keeps you going when you feel like quitting. It's the thing that makes you keep showing up, even when no one else is watching. Because you understand that your success doesn't depend on how you feel in the moment. It depends on what you do when no one's looking, when it's just you, your goals, and your commitment to yourself. When you have discipline, you create a future that no one can take away. You build a life where you're in control. And here's the thing about discipline. It doesn't just apply to your career or your fitness or your personal growth. It applies to every area of your life. It means you show up for yourself in all the ways that matter. You take care of your body, you nourish your mind, you work on your relationships, and you keep learning and growing. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about making the right choices, day in and day out, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. And the beauty of it is, over time, those small, consistent choices compound into something extraordinary. Mastering discipline is the key to unlocking your full potential. It's what allows you to take your dreams and turn them into reality. It's the thing that makes you unstoppable, because once you've got discipline, you know there's nothing that can stand in your way. You're not waiting for the perfect moment. You're not waiting for the stars to align. You're creating your own success by making disciplined decisions every single day. And when you think about it, that's really the ultimate form of freedom. The more disciplined you become, the less you're controlled by outside circumstances. You stop reacting to the world around you, and you start taking charge of your own destiny. You stop being a victim of your circumstances, and start being the creator of your future. Discipline gives you control over your time, your energy, and your choices. And when you've mastered it, you have the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. No one can take that away from you. There's a level of freedom that comes with discipline that most people don't even realize exists. When you're disciplined, you're not constantly chasing after fleeting feelings of motivation. You're not relying on luck or hoping that things will just fall into place. You're putting in the work, day after day. And because of that, you're able to create the kind of life where you're free to do what matters most to you. You're not bound by distractions, procrastination, or self-doubt. You're free to go after what you want and create the future you deserve. And that kind of freedom is priceless. So what are you waiting for? If you want to be unstoppable, it's time to master discipline. It's time to commit to showing up, to putting in the work, and to doing what needs to be done no matter what. The road won't always be easy, but that's the beauty of it. The harder the journey, the sweeter the rewards. And once you master discipline, once you've built that unshakable foundation, no one can stop you. You'll be unstoppable. Your success will be inevitable. And that, my friend, is a power that no one can take away. Now, you've heard the truth about discipline. It's not just a nice-to-have trait. It's the driving force behind every success story. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile, you need to commit to staying disciplined, even when it gets tough. Success doesn't come from occasional bursts of motivation. It comes from the daily grind, the habits you build, and the choices you make every single day. You've got everything it takes to build that discipline. It's not about being perfect, but about making the decision to do what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. Because when you master discipline, nothing can stand in your way. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do today, right now, to take that next step towards your goals? The future you want is built by the actions you take today. Don't wait for motivation to show up. Be disciplined, take action, and watch your life change. Thanks for watching. Keep grinding, stay disciplined, and I'll see you at the top.